Having a student with cerebral palsy is something that every teacher has had to experience, including myself. So this unit of learning has been very interesting, and I have found myself thinking of how I could adjust my teaching methods. First, I have learned that cerebral palsy is a disorder of movement, muscle tone, and posture, and has been caused by an injury or abnormal development in the brain, and most all happens before birth. Cerebral palsy is one of the most common congenital disorders of childhood. About 500,000 children and adults of all ages in the United States have the condition. There are three types of cerebral palsy. Number 1, spastic cerebral palsy, causes stiffness and movement difficulties. Number 2, athiatoid cerebral palsy, leads to involuntary and uncontrolled movements. And 3, ataxic cerebral palsy, causes disturbed sense of balance and depth perception. Things you need to be prepared to deal with when working with these students may include impaired movements, exaggerated reflexes, abnormal posture, and unsteadiness in walking. Also, these students are more likely to be physically impaired but not intellectually impaired. So it is important to know your students' specific needs before you adjust your curriculum or help them plan an SAE. Although I have not had the experience of working with a student with cerebral palsy yet, I've sat down to think of how I could modify SAEs in my program. First of all, in order to make an SAE a success, you must find something that the student has an interest in. If they are a plant lover, I would love to see these students work in our greenhouse by watering or checking on the plants. They could even possibly have a small garden that they were able to care for and maintain. Now, if the student is an animal lover such as myself, they may be able to raise a livestock project that is smaller in size. This may include meat rabbits or chickens to be exhibited at the local fair. I have seen a student at our local fair compete with a market lamb. They were simply allowed to lead their lamb in the class with a halter while they sat in their wheelchair and had some assistance with someone pushing them around through the shavings. And since it seems most of these students are only limited physically and not intellectually, I would like to see them become agriculture advocates in our community. They may work on a computer and develop flyers and brochures to be passed out at events promoting our FFA program or ag commodities grown in the area. And when it comes to FFA week, maybe they're the ones that do the local radio spots and contact the paper to come see what we are doing. But I think it is important to come up with something that will make the student feel successful and give them the encouragement that they may need to face other hurdles that they face outside of our program. Thank you.